I want to be here for you, and I want to make sure that your voices are heard.
And challenge me on exactly how I've addressed the issues that I said I would do and what you voted me in to cover.
I want to move away from ambiguous policies, and I'd like to be more practical.
I am a natural leader. I love to run things.
Your voice, your decisions, your union.
Hello and welcome to the Student Union Sabbatical Hustings 2014. My name is Steve Chapman and I'm the Principal and Vice-Chancellor of Heriot-Watt University. Now, electing your student representatives is a very important thing, and so I'm going to ask the candidates some questions, and each candidate will have 30 seconds to answer each of the questions.
Hi folks, I'm Rowan Berry and I'm currently the Vice President here. I have been the Vice President here since November 2013 and I'm standing for re-election as Vice President. Since then I've worked closely with your school officers to make sure that your voice is heard by staff and students. I've been working closely with the Advice Hub. I've been getting you lots of nice freebies. I've been getting you a lot more advice packs. You'll see me dotting around there all the time. I tend to spend quite a few afternoons there. And I've also managed to set up the postgraduate research rep system. This was something that happened a couple of years ago and fell to the wayside. We've got over 900 students here that study postgraduate research level, and they need some representation. They need to make sure that their voices are heard.
Hi, my name is Shona Campbell and I'm running to be your Student Union Vice President next year. I'm passionate about student engagement and currently feel there's not enough communication from the union to its students on what they're doing and how they're tackling the issues that students have, and that's something I'd really like to change. I want to see more events run by the union, by societies, and in combination between the two, you can run some really amazing events if you're working with societies and have them helping to promote and giving you ideas. I also want to make sure that with the growing student population on campus, that the support structure and welfare are keeping up with the expanding population to make sure that we're giving enough support to all of our students. I'm enthusiastic and good at taking on advice, and I'm excited at the challenge that next year may bring me.
Hello, I'm Miranda Matoshi and I'd like to be your next Vice President. As a student here in my last semester, I've come across many issues that I'd like to resolve. I want to move away from ambiguous policies and I'd like to be more practical, starting with small but noticeable changes around the university, such as improving common areas to make your studies as comfortable as they can be. I also strive to improve the employment rates of Heriot-Watt University by introducing better career fairs for you at the union, whilst making the transition smooth into workplace. I'd like to be a comfortable point of contact for you so that you can feel as if your voice could be heard, you can speak to me, and I will listen to your opinions and implement the changes that you'd like to suggest. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jessie Nelms and I'm running for Student Union President. I believe I would be fantastic for this position. I have had such a great experience over the last 4 years at being at university. And I really want to enhance everything that we have and continue the legacy on for the next generation of Heriot-Watt students coming through. I am a natural leader. I love to be in charge. I love to run things. I love to be organised. But I also love to listen to people. And that's a big part of being a leader, is being able to take on what other people are saying to you and implement them and make the changes that the people want. I think that the student union is lacking at the moment. I think there is the opportunity for many more students to be involved, and I want to create that student experience to be the exciting place that the student union should be.
Hi, my name is Becky. I'm your current Student Union President, and what makes me think I deserve your vote in re-election? This year I proved myself time and time again winning from students, for extended library hours to additional Lothian buses in the morning. I've shown you I can win for you. Moving forward, you need a president who has experience, has proven dedication to the union and the ability to lead. That person is me. Once elected, I will continue my battle at the university for more study space. We have more students coming every year and less study space. We need a long-term, bigger solution. The connections I've developed with the principal and more staff prove I have the connection to make this happen. I am the candidate to make the change. The union is so much more than a bar. We engage with hundreds of students every day. You need a say in what we do. Your voice, your decisions, your union. Re-elect Becky for president. I've not let you down yet.
So question 1, what do you hope to achieve if you are elected?
My 3 priorities this year, if elected: the ongoing issue with space. We need to take a bigger stand. Number 2, too many students go to the shop. There's not the juice you want. The queue's too long. This needs to change. And then, number 3, we need to be widening access to the student union. Too many students do not know what goes on at this union. This has to change.
Within the next year in the President's role, I hope to achieve utilising the student resources that are available at the Student Union. I feel that there are a lot of missed opportunities at the moment, and I would like to see students being able to optimise work experience opportunities available within the union, such as volunteer opportunities, leadership opportunities and community opportunities.
Hello, I'd like to resolve issues suggested to me in a practical manner, not only tackling things such as career fairs, but I'd also like to introduce better water fountains, more microwaves in the common areas so that you can be comfortable here and you can feel as if you're at home when you're studying here. But I'd also like to be somebody that everybody can relate to and speak to as well. Thank you.
If elected, I want to improve advertising around campus to make sure that students are aware of the many services, events and volunteering opportunities that the union provides. I want to give societies more support and encourage them more to use the venue of Zeros that we have in the building. It's a fantastic venue and it's not being used enough at the moment. I also want to increase accountability in the union and make sure it's a transparent system.
If I'm re-elected, I hope to achieve representation for all students over Heriot-Watt at every single level imaginable, right up from the management board right the way down to in your staff student meetings. I want to be here for you and I want to make sure that your voices are heard.
Question 2, we have a lot of international students. We're a very cosmopolitan university, so what will you do for international students?
About a third of the student population here on our UK campuses are from overseas and international students. It's very important that they feel welcome and accepted on every part of the campus. A lot of students staying away from home do get homesick, you know, it happens to everyone. And there are so many support systems, there's the chaplaincy, there's the union, there's the advice hub, and a lot of the time it's just making sure people know about that. I'll work closely with the chaplaincy, I'll work closely with our international officers and the hub to make sure that students know they can be heard and have somewhere to go.
Some issues for international students that I've already heard about involve a lack of bursaries and scholarships for non-EU students. I'd like to lobby the university to try and get more of these available. I also want to ensure that there's enough housing, union-owned housing, university-owned housing that's available for students if they can't get guarantors to sign their paperwork. Makes it really difficult to get normal leased flats. And I also want to ensure that once people arrive that they're settling in well and that their union supports them.
I understand that coming here from a different country might be daunting and you may feel alone. However, I'd like to introduce more fairs and meetups for international students, not only new ones but current ones, so that the support network can increase and you can make friends far more easily, which will make your time here more enjoyable.
For international students, coming to a new country, having a new culture and being integrated into new systems can be really scary. I think we already have a pretty good foundation of the welcoming environment for the international students, but I'd like this to be maintained more throughout the career at Heriot-Watt University, and I would like to implement freshers links, so we have international students supporting incoming international students so they can be integrated together.
It's about widening access, making sure that students feel welcome. From non-alcoholic space to more international events, it's about tackling the culture that students have here on campus. All students should be welcome here, and this is what we need to change.
What will you do to make the union relevant to all students, not just the ones who drink in the union bar?
My first year in office, I've already extended the union's reach, holding international events including food festivals, a range of postgraduate events including wine and cheese night. It's about building on this success and extending our reach. The union is so much more than a bar.
The student union is generally based around alcohol. We all know that there's alcohol down at the bar, but what people tend to forget is we also have a cafe and a club and committee rooms which are available for use. I would like to enhance the communication between the student union and the students on campus to be using these resources and maximising different events that could be happening, such as the knitting meeting. I bet you don't know that there's knitting that happens every Tuesday.
I want to make the union a place where organisations, societies and events are more accessible to everyone. I'll do this by increasing the publicity of everything that's going on here at the union and work with other officials here to make bigger and better events around campus so that everyone can get involved with what we achieve here.
I want to make the union more relevant to all students by increasing society participation, showing what other events we have on. There's a lot of other things you can do that aren't based around Geordies or even based around Libs. You can have film nights, you can engage with lots of students off campus as well, organising more volunteering opportunities in town. All these students that are arriving should be able to instantly be able to settle into Edinburgh.
The union is so much more than a pub, and I think a big part of that is that we don't shout about it enough. We don't let people know that we don't make awareness on campus. If I'm re-elected, I'm going to make sure that people know that it's open to all. It's a safe space, it's a socialising space, we've got non-alcoholic areas, and it's here for you to use.
Question 4. If you were elected, what would you expect your typical work week to look like?
I can safely say this isn't a 9 till 5 Monday to Friday job. I'm really glad it isn't. I would get bored out my head if it was. I hope to get a good balance between sort of office work, meetings and being out on campus. Like, I can't represent students if I'm not out and speaking to you guys and find out what's going on.
I expect my typical week would revolve more around communicating with students, promoting things that we have done and finding out what things students want us to tackle next. Focusing more on having a student-led rather than focusing on my agenda, focusing on the students' agenda.
Along with the commonplace work that I would do here, I'd like to make the effort to meet as many people on campus each week as possible and listen to the suggestions made. I expect to achieve at least one goal a week so that improvements on campus are noticeable regularly, and I am able to post the achievements week by week so that you can see what I've done here.
In this position, I'd expect my typical work week to be incredibly busy, but very exciting. I would believe it to be not just a full-time job, but a lifestyle, as I don't think the job should be a 9 till 5, because there are lots of different events that you have to facilitate and attend, from social events to meetings, office time, and working with different students.
Currently being the president, I know that it's more than just a 9 to 5 job. There are 1,000,001 meetings you have to go to and 1,000,001 places that you have to be. But this experience has taught me how to prioritise. I know which meetings are important and which meetings I can delegate for other people to go to, therefore enabling me to open up for more student engagement time.
Question 5. How will you make sure that students know who you are, and more importantly perhaps, how will you make sure they will hold you to account?
This is such an important part. Moving forward, I will commit to fortnightly blogs and monthly submissions of the union executive's work, on top of the weekly Sabbed on the Sofa and the sabbatical surgeries held in New Nesbitt. This will enable us to be held to account at all levels.
I think at the moment the student president is quite cut off from the student body, just in having to come into the student union and fight up all the stairs to be able to talk to somebody. I would like to try and implement a bi-weekly coffee morning where I would be available for students to come down and have a chat with, so that I could hear views from students and they would have an ease of access to be able to talk to me. I'd also like to maintain the presence that I already have throughout the university campus.
I hope to organise having a table in common areas so that people could put the face to the name, and I want people to approach me and be there regularly so that you can speak to me face to face and tell me what your issues are, so that you can see who I am and what I do here.
I like what the union's done so far with the pick of the day to show that what sabbaticals are getting up to on a daily basis. I also think that the manifesto should be kept on file and easily accessible to all students so that you can come back to me in 6 months and hold up my manifesto and challenge me on exactly how I've addressed the issues that I said I would do and what you voted me in to cover.
Something that I've tried to set up this semester has been sabbatical surgeries. You'll find me outside the advice hub, you'll see me with tea and coffee, sweeties, sometimes just sit in a couple of chairs, get you to come down and talk to me. I hope to make this a more regular thing so people know who I am. You can come up and you can talk to me. It's a public place and I'll be held accountable that way. If there's something you want to talk about and you don't feel like you want to see me out and if you don't want to come up and talk to me in a public place, I'm going to have an open door policy in the office.
Now, lots of candidates talk about positions they've had in the past, but can you give me an example of something you've actually done that has benefited students directly?
Currently I work closely with your school officers and your PGR reps to make sure that you're represented. I sit in a lot of panels for audits and reviews to make sure that not only your student learning experience is as fun as it can be, but that your degree's worth a bit of paper that it's printed on. And I'm also securing more funding for support and welfare services, and that includes services on campus and things like Edinburgh Nightline, which every Edinburgh student uses.
As a class rep, I've worked on sorting out timetabling issues, helping new students get more accustomed to how university life works. I've also worked on a lot of interdepartmental communications, as my course is between two departments and quite often the communication is not, has to be run by students. I've also been freshers helper, helping new students arrive, move in, get orientated on campus. I've also spent the last 3 years in events crew. If you've run an event in this union, you probably know me.
I've been running around campus for almost 4 years now, speaking to as many people as possible and doing as many things as I can. I'm also part of the tennis club and the drama society, a fantastic society that puts on shows each semester for the students here, and I've had fantastic fun.
Well, that's a shame, because I really hope to talk about everything I've done in the past, because I've had lots of different committee roles. But what I have been doing for students in the last year is working on the international forum within the sports union. So we've been initiating lots of new activities and events for international students, trying to incorporate and integrate them within our Heriot-Watt community to make them feel welcomed. I'm also a role model within the sports union, where I am a role model.
Already in my term of office, I've run extended library hours and additional buses during the morning rush. But the biggest win this year for me personally was Leonard Horner students who were dealt a poor hand by the university when it came to their catering. They were disheartened and having a bad time. We were informed, and after several long battles with the university, we won better catering facilities for those students, and it led to the introduction of the Student Union catering card. This was what real winning for the students was all about.
Okay, question 7, a little bit of a complicated one. Do you believe the union should convert from an unincorporated association, as it is at the moment, to a Scottish charitable incorporated organisation or a charitable company?
I believe this is a more appropriate structure for bigger organisations. For those who don't know what SCIO is, it's a legal firm which allows charities to incorporate without having to be a company, and so would allow charities to own property and enter contract, rather than a trustee be personally liable. This works for bigger institutions with larger commercial turnover, which is not quite appropriate for our institution, I do not believe.
To be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. It was only an hour ago that I've learnt about all these different charitable companies, SCIOs, so I have very limited understanding of it. But what I do know is, from the understanding I have, the charitable company seems to follow the principles and the ethos of the student union. However, if I was to come into this role, I would do a lot more research before making a final decision on this point.
I believe the union should become a Scottish charitable incorporated organisation so that members here are clearly defined and held accountable for everything that they do, so that you know who's doing what, when.
It's a very complicated question that requires a lot more than an hour to prepare for. So I would require a lot more information from the CEO, the Deputy CEO and all the trustee boards and their advice, and more people who are involved on the business side of the union, and ultimately find out what the students have, if they have an opinion on what to do with it as well.
The Scottish Charitable Incorporated Organisation is a way of giving charities like a legal personality. It means that they would have the same legal representation. They would have the same legal responsibilities as any person, so they could buy property or being sued or any such thing like that. While this looks good on paper, it also takes away a lot of the liability from trustees and other management people. And I feel as a company, it's important that they're still held accountable for their actions.
So I hope you'll get involved in the election process, and I wish good luck to all the candidates.